Think of the closest people in your life. Why are they close to you? Do they know your deepest secrets, your fears, your desires? Why? Why do they know? Why do you let them know these things? Why do you trust them? Welcome to the Chrissy B Show, the UK's only TV programme dedicated to your mental health and well-being. And yes, today we talk about trust, the psychology of trust, and the damage inflicted on ourselves when our trust is broken. Joining us is resident psychologist Dr. Audrey Tang, who will explain the importance of trust in our mental health. Addressing the trust with children is family coach Sharon Lawton, who explains how you can actually strengthen trust with your children. And later on, Anna Kennedy talks to us about her latest work with the autism community, along with director of Pineapple Performing Arts School, Maggie Paterson. We are then treated to a dance performance by Pineapple student Callum Kirrage. Before resident newsreader Helena Chard shares with us the latest in good news from around the world. We also have on Hannah Richards giving us a delicious and quick recipe you can make with your friends. And at the end of the show, I share my tips on how to be more trustworthy. Now, trust is a very complicated emotion, and according to Psychology Today, it's described as a foundation of human connection, meaning that we need trust in order to build healthy, lasting relationships. Trust is measured in a spectrum, with some people being more trustworthy and in effect placing more trust in other people than others, and is considered difficult to obtain because it involves the risk of social and personal vulnerability. According to the Kellogg School of Management, there are 4 key elements to trust: benevolence, integrity, competence, and predictability, which determine how effectively you build relationships with people. When trust is broken, it can be psychologically traumatic, as Good Therapy website states, which can also lead to difficulties creating and maintaining future relationships. With that in mind, what are you on Twitter saying about trust? Levon says, everyone I thought was real turned fake. What I thought was true was all a lie. I can literally trust no human at this point in my life. Well, Levon, I hope it doesn't stay that way, because there are trustworthy people in the world. Keith is being funny, stating, can you really trust anyone who doesn't like donuts? The answer is no, Keith. My Feeling says it clearly, saying, if you tell me the truth, I'm going to be mad, but I'll get over it. If you lie to me, I'm never going to be able to trust you again. Your choice. Viniling says, apology accepted, trust denied. Smart Living says, respect is earned, honesty is appreciated, trust is gained, loyalty is returned. So some very interesting thoughts on trust there. But what does our resident psychologist, Dr. Audrey Tang, have to say about the matter? Well, here she is. Welcome to the show, Audrey.
Thanks for having me, Chrissy.
So we're talking all about trust today. Why is trust so important, first of all?
Well, when we're born, we need to trust others in order to survive. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And then, of course, as we age, we also need to trust people again in order to survive, in order to look after our finances and sometimes make the right decisions.
Yeah.
Also, we find that working with other people can be very, very positive. You can get a really good collaboration going.
Yeah.
And if you can work with someone you can trust, you can sometimes achieve more than you would on your own. However, trust is a really complex issue, and betrayal even more so. Because if you look at literature, even Dante, when he talks about the circles of hell, he saves the coldest and darkest region for betrayers and traitors. And even in history, treason, being a traitor, all of those sorts of behaviours are saved for the worst punishment. So we as humans have learnt through culture, through the way we are, that betrayal is a very bad thing. If trust is broken, there are really strong physiological reactions that can happen. Some research from China has imaged the brain, and what they found is that when we trust somebody, the medial prefrontal cortex is one of the areas that lights up, and it's usually due to oxytocin and the happy hormone when
being with that person that you like,
that we love or we trust. However, they've noticed that when that trust is betrayed, those pathways in the brain really suddenly stop and die away.
Wow.
But the weirdest thing is about this particular research is they found that if then somebody was given that same feeling of oxytocin generated in women, what actually happened was they were more likely after a betrayal to seek revenge when they were exposed to oxytocin or exposed to that hormone being generated. Men, it wasn't the same. And this particular researcher went on to look at that and say that actually one of the best ways of rebuilding trust is restitution. So if, say, you have taken money from me and that's the betrayal of trust, the best way is actually you giving me the money back rather than, oh, I'm really sorry, I'll never do that again, here, I'll give you a gift. It's almost, trust is better rebuilt when it's done in the same way as it was lost in the first place.
I mean, do you think also some people have trust issues when there isn't actually anything wrong or nothing's happened in particular?
Often trust issues do arise from something, but it may not be due to that particular situation that that person's in. They may not realise this, and a lot of the time when somebody goes through talking therapy or counselling, it tends to be to deal with being able to separate the two issues. In other words, okay, maybe in a past relationship this happened and we've had to deal with that particular trust issue, but what are the differences compared to this current relationship? One of the best things you can do really is if there are trust issues appearing, and often people, they mistrust each other. You get into arguments, you want to check the phone all the time, you're always asking where they're going, and you want to almost control what's going on. It's actually best for people to sit down and talk about it. Actually say, well, what does trust mean to you? Because it can mean different things to different people. Is it, I want you always to tell me the truth? Or is it, I want you to spare my feelings, I want you to look out for me? And also to find out what betrayal means to people too. The main thing is keeping those lines of communication open, because we all think in very different ways, and therefore it's important that a couple, certainly working on trust issues, understand that this is acceptable, this is not acceptable. And that can vary from person to person. Just because you've been through something in the past doesn't mean that person is going to behave in the same way, or that they're going to help you with your trust issues in the same way as somebody else. And also, it's worth remembering that trust issues can arise through other things, not just a breakup of a relationship or abuse or anything like that. It can be even things like dementia or other psychological or physiological illnesses where people are beginning to mistrust their own memory, or perhaps they fear that they're losing their eyesight or something like that, and then they start wanting to keep hold of everything so that they almost, they can preserve their own dignity as they go about their lives whilst trying to cope with the changes that are happening within them. So sometimes trust issues may actually arise just due to the ageing process or other things other than a betrayal.
Brilliant. Audrey, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
And we'll talk to you again next week.
Lovely.
Thank you. Right, everybody, so developing a healthy relationship with trust tends to start with having a healthy relationship with your family. So what does family coach Sharon Lawton have to say about the importance of trust in the family? She's going to join us right now. Welcome to the show, Sharon.
Thank you, Chris.
So tell us, why is trust so important in a child's development?
Trust is absolutely fundamental to a child's development. It's all to do with what's called attachment and attachment theory. And a good, strong attachment from birth between the infant and the child's primary caregiver, which predominantly is the parent, is fundamental for them to be able to learn all of those things around good social, emotional, physical and mental health. So it actually fits into everything. It's so fundamental for that particular child as from the moment that they are born.
Okay, but what happens if trust is consistently broken then? What can happen to that child?
So if trust is consistently broken, it can have really detrimental effects. So I think the negative effects of consistently broken trust can show itself out later on in adult life as well as early on in a child's life as well. So if we take it right back to basics, when a child is initially born, the human brain is unfinished. And it's the front part of the brain, the neocortex, that's not yet developed enough. And in that first 3 years of life, amazingly, a child's brain doubles in size. So it's a huge amount actually going on. And I think that the key thing, which I think is really inspiring, is that everything that happens to a child's brain is as a result of the interaction that it has with its primary carer. So every time the parent sort of responds to the baby's needs, because a baby can only communicate by crying, and so it's asking for its needs to be met, and it has to trust that that adult will meet that needs of soothing or feeding or whatever it might be. And every time a parent responds to that need, it's laying down in the child's brain a neuro pathway to say that this is an adult that I can trust to meet my needs. And as a result of that, the child is able to explore and have a look and explore the world, and then come back to a safe environment. So if trust is constantly broken, not only can it have an effect on physical health, because what happens is one of the primary things that the parent does is help that child in those early years deal with stress. And so if I am a baby and I'm crying to get my needs met, and my primary carer isn't able for whatever reason to meet my needs, then what happens is I experience a stress response in my body, and that sends out toxic chemicals around the body. So it puts us into that fight, flight and freeze response. Now, that stress response, if it's triggered for a long period of time, is really detrimental to the effects of a young person. So those stress chemicals can affect the development of the brain, a healthy brain, and so we see mental health problems. We also see things like the inability to form good relationships later on in life, so or even form any relationships or lasting relationships at all. Or the relationships that they make might be unhealthy relationships. As I think I've already said, you know, even like the physical health as well, it can have detrimental effects. So a huge amount, you know, really, really big area, you know, to discuss really and think about. So we don't necessarily think about trust as having that impact both on the early years, the developmental stages of a child, because actually the more you're able to meet those child's needs, the better able they are to meet their milestones and to develop well into the future. But also the effects that it has on us on adult and later life as well.
So many implications involved, aren't there?
Huge, yeah.
So what can a parent do then to have, you know, their child actually trust them more? Say if there are trust issues, maybe the parent hasn't actually done anything wrong, but maybe some issues have developed. What can a parent do to help that child trust them?
Well, I can give you an example of one that parents, and I think I was guilty of it too, actually, at sort of in the early stages of my parenting, that we do without even realising that we can damage and break that link of trust. And if we stop doing it, obviously we can help to build trust. And one of those things is, if we've got a child that might be particularly clingy, and that might not necessarily be because of trust issues, it might just be a stage of development, because separation anxiety is just a stage of development. And we decide that, right, okay, so the best way to do it is I'm going to drop little Johnny at the childminders and then get someone to distract him, and then I'll disappear. That's really unhelpful, because what that's doing is, how can that child learn to trust that you're going to do what you say and come back? All of a sudden, the person that I look to, that it's protecting me in this world, has suddenly abandoned me. So that would be a big no-no for me. You know,
what should you do instead then?
Well, it's about being sort of like, you know, sort of being sensitive to the child's needs, to be empathic and say, I know, I'm going to miss you too, and, you know, I am going to come back. You're going to have lots of lovely time, and then come back. And after a while, the child will learn that you are going to do what you say, and you are going to come back. So that's important, but it's one that, you know, a lot of us do as parents, you know, because we don't like to see our children upset, but we don't realise the detrimental effects of just doing that. So little things like that, but also sort of doing what we say and following through, and just making sure that we do meet that child's needs, but also our own needs as well as parents. Parents is a giving role. Parenting is a giving role, so important that actually we balance the needs of the child with also our own needs as well. So if we top ourselves up emotionally, then we're able to meet the child's needs much more effectively, without us feeling well, that we're running on empty.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Sharon.
My pleasure.
And we'll see you again very soon.
Look
Oh,
forward
by
to
the
it,
way,
Chris.
tell everyone about what we've been doing with the MHD Challenge in schools.
Oh, I know, it's exciting.
Yes.
So we've got lots of schools that have been signing up in Hertfordshire, as you know, which is where I'm based. So we've been recording some dance challenges,
Yes, we
haven't we?
have, yeah.
So for showing on a future show.
Brilliant. Thank you, Sharon.
You're
and we'll see you again soon.
Look forward to it, Chris.
All right, everybody, don't go away, because after the break, Anna Kennedy discusses her latest activities with Pineapple Performing Arts Director Maggie Paterson and Pineapple student Callum Kirrage. But first, is this true or false? Trust can be learnt. Find out after this break. Welcome back to the Chrissy B Show, everyone, your TV programme for all things related to mental health and well-being. Now, before the break, we asked you, can trust be learnt? The answer is true. According to trustedadvisor.com, along with intimacy and cooperation, people can learn to be more trusting towards each other. Now, here to talk about her latest endeavours is autism correspondent Anna Kennedy, and she's joined with Director of Pineapple Performing Arts School Maggie Paterson and Pineapple alum Callum Kirrage. Welcome to the show, everyone.
Thank you.
Hi there. How are you? So we're going to be speaking to Maggie and Callum in just a moment, but first of all, Anna, what's new? What have you been up to?
I've been busy again, as always.
Really?
Yes. I've chaired a conference at Milton Keynes. Today I met an amazing young lady from Canada. It was a fantastic artist. Like, her artwork is just out of this world. We've recruited 2 more ambassadors for the charity. We've got Danielle Lloyd.
Oh, wow.
She's one of our ambassadors now, and our very first overseas ambassador, Danny Bowman, who is an amazing young woman. So I'll be sharing a little bit about her work further down the series.
Okay.
And then we had the Autism Hero Awards. Amazing. Like,
brilliant.
36 finalists, and we chose 12 winners. It was really, really difficult, but an amazing evening. And Ryan has put a little video together so that everyone can have a little taste of what happened on the night.
All right, so let's take a look at that video.
A real roller coaster of emotion.
Please, let's make some noise for Jacko Moran!
Trust the one who's been where you are, wishing all it was with streams and storms. Yeah, those words cut deep, but they don't mean you're alone.
Like love that's walked out on the door of being rich or being poor. Such a shame.
amazing stuff there, Anna.
Yeah, it was great. It was, you know what? It was a real a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah, I can imagine. Okay, so tell us how all of you know one another then.
Well, Maggie and I have been working together for about 7 years now on Autism's Got Talent, and Maggie has been fantastic. She's given the charity 8 scholarships.
Oh, amazing!
And Callum is one of them.
Wow, so, wonderful.
Maggie, I was going to say, can you tell us a little bit about what we do with all the pupils and how they're progressing?
Yeah, well, the guys through Anna's our scholarship have been absolutely amazing integrating with our other students. So Pineapple Performing Arts School is based at Pineapple Dance Studios in Covent Garden, and the school runs on a Sunday, so it's a part-time school just for age 3 to, well, right through the ages 3 to teens to adults. So we take a scholarship student for each of the age groups, so we've got a junior and a senior and an adult every year.
Okay.
And we can't, it's supposed to be for a year, but we've kept them all on. Because we couldn't, you know, bear to tell them to leave. And they absolutely love it, and the support they get from the teachers and the other students, and it's a real safe place for them to be doing what they love.
It's amazing. Now, why are performing arts so important, would you say?
Well, it's confidence building. If they love performing arts, like I say, it's a safe place for them to be. They can develop their skills. They get lots of opportunities to perform, train, integrate with, you know, other kids who love performing arts as well. So it's not just about training to be a performer. There's lots of friendships are built through it.
It's lovely, isn't it?
So
amazing. Oh, you can see how much you love it, I can tell by the way you're speaking about it. There's a smile on your face. Yeah, I can tell. And tell us about when you saw Callum first dance. What did you think?
Oh my goodness, I first saw Callum at Autism's Got Talent, Anna's event that, you know, we always support. And I was just blown away by him. I just thought, where did that little firecracker come from? You know, you could see the joy on his face when he was dancing. And oh my goodness me, when he applied for a scholarship, there was no doubt we're not going to give him one. Just to be part of his journey and see him grow and develop. And he's been with us a couple of years now, and he is amazing.
Amazing. So Callum, what do you like about dancing?
When I first started dancing, I was like, what am I supposed to do? But when I started going to Pineapple, it just sort of just changed my life.
Really? Does it make you really happy then when you dance?
Yeah.
Yeah? And what do you think of everyone at the Pineapple Arts School? Is it like, have you made lots of friends there? What's it like?
Well, I've made lots of friends, and there's this really funny girl called Dea, and we always laugh.
Do you? Oh, that's really good. And have you thought about what you want to do in the future? Is this like you want to dance professionally as well, or is it just like a hobby for you?
Yeah, I just really want to do dance because that's my passion for my life.
Brilliant. Now, you're going to be dancing for us a bit later on, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you ready for that? You looking forward to it? Brilliant. We can't wait to see that, can we, girls?
No, we know it's really cute.
So, Anna, can you tell us a bit more then about why dancing is good for people with autism in general?
Well, obviously you came to the school a few weeks ago and you met some of our performers, and you can see how they're interacting together. It increases their flexibility, it increases their imagination, you know, they start making steps up themselves, and it's just like, I just think everyone should learn how to dance because it's fun and it just teaches you so much, and it helps you with body posture, it just helps you with everything, and I think it's a great tool to help you get through life as well. So I think everyone should learn to dance.
Yeah, definitely. Just to let our viewers know that we actually did the mental health dance challenge together with them, didn't we?
Yeah.
So I was quite out of breath. They're really really good. I love their freestyling as well. They were so good. You know, it was good to do that with them, you know, for such an important cause as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, they just actually did another show on Friday, and I watched a little clip of it, and they were so good. And you can just see, and Jonathan, who obviously we met, was the street dance teacher, he's just so proud of them, and he just does such a great job.
Yeah, brilliant. And just another question for Maggie here as well. I know obviously you teach from 3 years old, but what is it like for the adults? Do a lot of them come because they want to do it as a career, or is it just fun, a lot of fun for them as well?
Well, for the adults, it's missed ambition, make new friends, they might want to go into the business. Again, confidence building. You know, they might have to speak at work and they haven't got the confidence to do that, so through the drama they do that.
For that,
yeah, or a lot of them just do it for fun. I have to say, a lot of them do it for making new friends. Yeah, it's a really good friendship place to make, especially for our foreign students, or because they're all got the same passion and sometimes as an adult, your friends don't understand you when you're mad about musical theatre or acting, and we do lots of social events with them as well. One of our guys on the came through, Anna, he wouldn't come to the social event the first term. He was nervous of it, and he spoke about he might come. Now he's the life and soul of that social. He's the one that is up dancing, singing, and he loves the social night.
What's it like for you seeing that, people change the way they do after coming to your school?
Oh, it's so rewarding.
Yeah.
It makes me so happy. Because I didn't, coming from a dance background, I was, dance for business and profession.
Yeah.
And to see what else it gives people, like even Callum saying at this young age, life-changing, I hear that so much. And that is just so rewarding.
Amazing.
It's wonderful, yeah.
And it's parents as well, don't they? They interact together, they make friends, and especially our parents of kids on the autism spectrum, it's great for them to, go out together, and that they might just drop the kids off at the studio, then they'll go off and have a coffee, and it's that's the bit, a little bit of me time, which is really important.
Exactly what everyone needs, including you, Anna.
Talk together, me time for Anna. This is her me time.
Yes. Her me time is work, isn't it? Okay, so we're going to watch Callum in just a moment, but anything that you'd like to tell us coming up, Anna? Anything in the pipeline?
Well, we're looking for more performers for Autism's Got Talent. The closing date is December the 31st. So if you know of anybody who's a singer, a dancer, a musician, a comedian, whatever talent they may have, please write into Anna Kennedy Online, and the closing date is December the 31st, and that's when we'll choose 20 performers to showcase their talent in May. We've already booked the theatre, so it's May the 10th. So please write in, and we're looking forward to seeing your auditions.
Right, Anna, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Maggie, lovely to meet you. Thank you so much for telling us about everything. And Callum, ready to dance, right? Okay, so Callum's going to dance for us, guys. Well, don't go away, because after the break, Hannah Richards gives us a healthy recipe, and she also answers your nutritional questions, including this one. Should I cut the fat off meat? Surely it's not that bad for you. Also, what are the best cuts of meat to eat for my health? Find out what she says after this break. I'm Chrissy B, and my show is all about improving your mental health and being happy. Join me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 p.m. on my channel Sky 203. Visit chrissybshow.tv for more information and subscribe to our YouTube channel Chrissy B Show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Chrissy B Show, and on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. Welcome back to the Chrissy B Show, everyone, the TV program that loves to look after your mental health and well-being. So now we have with us our lovely nutritionist, Hannah Richards. Welcome back to the show, Hannah.
Good evening, Chrissy.
How are you?
Very well, thanks. How are you?
Ready for another posh, lovely recipe?
I have, because I've got my I prepared my doily.
Oh, wonderful. So what we're making today and why?
Today we're going to do something together.
Okay.
And we're going to do a coconut ball.
Right, okay. It's a lot more interesting than a coconut ball, isn't it? Because you've got quite a few ingredients here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've got a few ingredients. So this is kind of like a little snack that you could have in the biscuit tin or in the fridge.
Yeah.
The problem is with these yummy little snacks is you can end up eating them all. So we're going to try not to do that today.
Okay.
But yeah, so we've got some blackberries and some raspberries and some mushed up banana, which mushes up fairly quickly and easily. Mm-hmm. And that's going to provide us with a nice sweetness and a bit of water to make the balls a bit soft as well.
Okay.
We're going to use a nice grain, which is just some oats. Mm-hmm. We're going to use some desiccated coconut and some chocolate, raw chocolate powder to coat the balls.
Yeah.
And then we're going to use some cream of coconut to give the ball the stickiness that it needs to stay together.
Okay, so all very good for you, these ingredients.
All very
Maybe you can
good
talk
for
us
us.
through it while you're making it.
Sure.
What the actual nutritional benefits.
Okay, so we're going to start with just some oats. Any oats, porridge oats, gluten-free oats, whatever oats you've got in the cupboard. This is going to be the main source of the ball. Now you can, obviously weigh things out, but the aim of this is making sure that it's a good consistency so that you can roll together by the end of it. So we're just going to put some coconut cream in. Have you ever used coconut cream?
No, I haven't actually. I tasted this earlier and it's really yummy. I use coconut milk from the tin. And I make sure it's not got any nasties in it.
Yeah. And the great thing with coconut cream is you can get it in all supermarkets and it's really, really cheap. You just have to take a little bit of time melting it down so it's a liquid form. So at room temperature, it'll be a solid coconut oil and coconut cream. And when it heats, it turns to a liquid. So can you see that that's sort of getting malleable now?
Yeah.
So there we go. It sort of looks a bit like porridge.
It does.
Our sort of porridge oats. So raspberries or blackberries?
Raspberries.
Okie dokie, in you go.
Just put them all in?
Maybe half.
Half of them.
There we go.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go.
Okie dokie. And again, you just want to mush up the raspberries and you can see that lovely vibrant colour. I'm going to move over to a bigger spoon. So you're just going to mush in the raspberries. Ooh, they look good. And that's going to give us, you start smelling those raspberries as well.
Yeah.
And raspberries are a great source of antioxidants, so a nice healthy immune busting ball as well.
I suppose you could use blueberries for this as well, could you?
Yeah, blueberries, blackberries.
Which we've got here.
Any kind of berries. Berries are some of the best fruits for you because they are very high in antioxidants, high in vitamin C. So they're great for this time of year when we're all sniffling.
Okay, yes.
So you just want to keep that consistency.
Let me see that. Just show the camera there just so they can see. Yeah, with a big smile on your face.
Big smile. You want to keep that consistency because remember we're going to make it into a ball. So, Chrissy, will you just add a little bit of desiccated coconut, that white? Just sprinkle a bit in. There we go, lovely. Yep. Thank you very much. And we're just going to mix that round. Now you can make any flavour. So the oats are sort of your base.
Okay.
And then we're going to make a raspberry, coconut and chocolate. But you could do banana and chocolate.
Okay.
Or blackberry and banana. Any flavour you like.
Okay.
So sprinkle a little bit of chocolate in there for me.
Teaspoon?
Yeah, teaspoon. Yep. Sprinkle it around.
There you go.
Yummy. Raspberry and chocolate, that's such a good combination.
I love strawberries and chocolate as well.
There we go. Now I have got a bit of honey on the side, but I think it's going to be sweet enough. I'm going to put one more spoon of the coconut cream in, and then we're going to get our hands dirty.
Okay, should I take my breath?
Yeah. Or do you want me to get my hands dirty?
Yeah, you get your hands dirty because I've got to get the questions for you. Quite a good excuse.
Okay, nearly there. So give it a nice one. Round it all up again.
Smells really nice.
Starting to smell good. You could probably put some more raspberries in, but I want to make sure these balls nice and stick together. Okay, great. I'm going in.
Okay.
So roll up your sleeves. And you just want to pick up sort of that amount there into the palm of your hand and make sure you can see that already it's going to all stick together. And you're just going to make it into a little ball and put it on the plate like that. You can sprinkle on each of them if you want either the desiccated coconut or the chocolate. Give them a little sprinkle.
I'll just take one of those spoons.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. Okay.
You could put, what else could you put on them? You could put icing sugar, I suppose.
Oh, that looks good. It's nice.
This is a little bit more healthy, these nice coconut. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but it's such a good saturated fat for us.
But it's nice that they're healthy, like there's no sugar in this at all.
Exactly.
Just natural sugars.
The key is not to eat them all.
Right.
That's
Yes,
the problem.
discipline is the key.
It is the key. We struggle with it, don't we, discipline?
I'm making a
And
mess here.
food.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, shall I ask you a few of the questions from the viewers? Oh, I'll try. Okay, I made a mess there. Sorry, guys. All right. So I'm going to try one in a minute, Hannah.
Okay.
You keep rolling. So
I'll
we've got
keep
enough.
rolling.
So we've got enough
for everyone.
Enough for everyone in the studio. Okay. So we had this question before the break, and this viewer is asking: should I cut the fat off meat? Surely it's not that bad for you. Also, what are the best cuts of meat to eat for my health?
Ooh, good question. Well, I think it would depend on where you got your meat from. So let's say you got your meat from the best farmer you could ever imagine, who looked after all his animals. Then the fat on that animal would be better than if those animals lived a really cooped up life in a chicken hut. However, we do get quite a lot of fat in our diets anyway. So if the cut of meat looks like it's got some fat on it, you could probably do with taking it off.
I do love the fat on a steak, though, Hannah.
I know.
It's lovely. Yeah, I don't take it off.
I like it on lamb chops.
And that as well.
So
we're not really being very helpful here, are we?
We're not being very helpful. We're just being indulgent.
So if you can take off the fat.
Yeah. If it's a really good cut of meat, keep it, but limit it.
And any cuts of meat that you'd recommend?
Well, I think there's lots of forgotten cuts of meat as well, which are really cheap, but they take some time to cook. Shoulders, oxtails.
Yeah.
But the leaner the better. So chicken is a lean meat. Even ostrich is a lean meat, a bit unheard of. Turkey is coming into season. That's nice and lean. I mean, yeah.
There's quite a few. I was going to say zebra as well, because that apparently...
Yes.
Yeah. And they don't kill them for food, actually. They have to actually get rid of some because there's too many. I heard, this is just stuff I heard.
No, it's true.
So,
it's
might as well eat the meat. They're going to kill them anyway. All right, next question. Does cooking food really affect its nutritional value? My friend is a raw vegan, but I just don't understand how not cooking your food can be good for you.
Well, it's a big debate, the old vegan debate. So cooking our food will, to a degree, decrease the nutritional content. So vitamins and minerals can get depleted. So if you think about all the things that we use medicinally to help us for fighting disease in our body, the moment they get heated, they lose those powers. It's a bit like losing your superpowers. However, we need food to be cooked or steamed or heated to some degree, because we haven't evolved how we would have liked to had cooking not come in. We'd have had sharper teeth, we'd have had more teeth, we'd have had all the wherewithal to eat flesh raw and things like that. However, eating a whole raw diet isn't necessarily bad for you if you have the engine in your body to break all that down. So if you are eating a very high raw food diet and you're finding you're having some digestive issues, you might want to sort of add a bit of steamed vegetables because it's harder to break down. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, Okay, and one more question for today. This person's saying, I'm trying to drink more water, but I never remember to drink enough during the day. Do you have any tips in how to get more water?
Yes, my water rule. It's my favourite rule. No, I don't understand people who don't drink enough water. It should be the easiest thing to do, shouldn't it?
We kind of forget sometimes.
So here are the 3 rules. If you don't drink enough water and you need to get water into your life more, remember this. Drink water on waking, water before you eat any meal, and water after every bowel movement. And if you only do that, you'll be drinking more water than you did before.
The third one I've never heard of before.
Well, because when we have a bowel movement, we move water out of the body, so we have to replenish it. People forget that.
All right. Okay. Brilliant. Hannah, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
I'm going to try one of these in just a second, but just to let everybody know, don't go away, because after the break, Helena Chard gives us the latest in feel-good news, and I'll tell you my tips on how to be more trustworthy. But first, according to lifehack.com, which of the following is something trustworthy people do? Is it A, keep other people's secrets, B, admit their faults, or C, judge people fairly? What do you reckon, Hannah?
Ooh. B?
Tricky one, isn't it? Okay, we're going to find out the answer after the break. Shall we try one of these?
Let's do it.
I'm going to try the one with the coconut. Cheers.
Okay, cheers.
Oh, you got the chocolate one. Very nice.
I might not share these.
No, I don't think we should take them away, don't you?
No.
Let's go. Okay, see ya. Welcome back to the Chrissy B Show, everyone, where today we've been talking all about trust. Now, before the break, I asked you, according to lifehack.com, which of the following is something trustworthy people do? Is it A, keep other people's secrets, B, admit their faults, or C, judge people fairly? The answer, all three of them. Trustworthy people also understand that their lives are not figured out, are courteous of other people's feelings, and don't participate in gossip. Well, here to talk to us about the latest in feel-good news is the lovely Helena Chard. Hello, Helena.
Hi, Chrissy.
Were you surprised by those answers, or did you kind of know?
No, I sort of knew.
Yeah?
It's good, it's interesting.
Okay.
Very good.
Before we get to the news, let's get to the cake, or at least introduce the cake.
No.
And
Hi,
this
cake.
one comes courtesy of Ululu Bakery, and it's a gorgeous salted caramel and pecan cake. And Ululu also have an edible gingerbread village going on until the 1st of January, so do check them out for cake and other yummy treats. So back to Helena now for the news.
To say I want one of those pecans. They look yummy. So I've got various little bits of news with trust elements in them.
Okay.
Starting off with the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh, as we know, they've celebrated their platinum wedding anniversary, which is amazing.
Yeah.
It's just so iconic. 70 years. I don't
It's
know
amazing,
anyone.
isn't
I
it?
really
Wow.
don't know anyone. And obviously he's her rock, and the trust they have between them really has kept them going.
Yeah,
so that's something to, congratulations to them.
Amazing.
Richard Branson, we have actually discussed this element before, but just wanted to bring it up again, how he trusts his staff. Now, not all of the staff, but it's the top core of something like 200 staff, and he allows them to take flexi time. They can decide when they want to have their holidays, and they don't. They will judge whether they can take the time out because they wouldn't like to jeopardise the business or anything. And it absolutely works. And he talks about how people should roll it out, and he decided to do it because he read an article about Netflix that do the same thing, which I think is amazingly trusting and amazing that staff. Well, not really. I mean, I'd do that. But I think lots of people would have that. You wouldn't want to let anybody down, would you?
No.
So I think
you have to be passionate about your job to do that, or you know what you're involved in.
But think
because some people otherwise are just, if they just see it just a job. You know, you try and sort of get away with things, wouldn't you?
Different. And this, moving on to this, which I find a little bit scary. So employers are using a range of technologies to monitor their staff's web browsing patterns. So keystrokes, social media posts, private messaging. So basically they're monitoring staff, so everything is known about them. And every 10 minutes they take photographs as well of absolutely everything. I think when it goes into the social media side of things, it's a bit. And the whole idea is that they can use the data to see which staff are good and maybe not so good.
Okay.
But they could make ill assumptions as well. So it's just in its. You know, it's quite a new
You've just
thing.
told everyone the secret now,
the secret.
Like,
no. So, I mean, there has to be some positive in that, I'm sure, but it's a little bit scary. And also just a little bit, for me, my experience, I had a manager, this was years and years ago, aggression by micromanagement, and basically micromanagement is mismanagement, and it was somebody that was down on me all the time, and it created a negative. But then once we had a discussion, it was fine and absolutely sorted and done. But it's amazing how that it was cleared up very quickly, which was really good. Moving on to the wonderful documentary about some refugees, and they moved over something like 240 Syrian refugees to Northern Ireland. And they were very scared and worried how they would be received. And also the people living in Northern Ireland were really worried about it as well. And it just shows how it was a really lovely situation where they're all at peace. There's a lot of trust and they all got on very well. And it started off with so much fear, and it was so lovely to see them in the community as well. And there's like little knitting groups going on, so much happening. And it was just such a nice positive thing. It's really good to hear, isn't it? Because there's so much negativity around it. Again, a nice little trust story. The power of play. And this is something that I think is lovely. Gaining children's trust. So it's the Flying Seagull UK charity. And it's a UK-based charity, arts charity, spreading laughter and smiles to children. And again, they go into like war-torn countries. So it's people that have seen, children that have seen such terrible things. And they go in and they build up a trust with the children, and they basically just entertain them on nothing. So they have clowns and singers, and they cook. And they're saying, as Ash, his name is, or Bash, he's a clown, they're saying it's amazing to see the twinkle in their eyes come back. It's just something that's just really rewarding.
That's nice, yeah.
And it's a charity-based place, which is really great. So, and just one more as well, which is a similar thing in a sense, which is lovely, and it was on Children in Need recently. And it was a story about a little girl called Vanessa, who spent her whole time in hospital. She had a really a cancer, which was that she had so much treatment with it. Unfortunately, she has passed away, which is sad. But the thing about it was a lovely little clip about the Spread a Smile charity, and they go into hospitals for with children that are terminally ill, and they just do anything which cheers them up. And in Vanessa's case, she loved singing, so a trained actress, a trained singer went in, and they used to sing, and every time she sang, she smiled. The pain was taken away. It was just such a lovely thing to see. And these, again, Spread a Smile charity is based in Chalk Farm, which is not too far from here,
close,
which is lovely. But it's just lovely. Those nice
check them out. Thank you.
Little rewarding stories.
Definitely. Thank you. So now it's time for our cake of the week. Again, it's from Ululu Bakery. Shall we have a little cut?
Oh, yes.
And a little slice, actually. Okay. You can smell the pecans from here.
So
yummy,
good.
yummy, yummy. Look, our cakes are always so
thick,
deep and thick. I find it really hard to... Okay, let me turn it a little bit this way. Okay. You're looking forward to this?
Yeah, I really am.
Okay. Do you remember what it was? I think it's a salted caramel... What was it, Helena? Were you paying attention?
Salted caramel pecan caramel cake.
Oh, look.
Oh, look. Chocolate and different... That's yummy.
Here you go, Helena. Here's your massive piece. And you can taste that while I will tell the viewers what's coming up in just a moment. Thank you, Helena. So now, taste it first and let us know what you think. She took a tiny bit. I'm going to take some.
I always see myself on camera.
Okay. All right, guys. So now, thank you, Helena. We'll see you again next week. And here are my tips now on how to be more trustworthy. So let's get straight to my first tip, which is to be real. Now, people want to be around others who are authentic and not fake. So make sure you're always honest and be yourself. And just to tell you about a little incident that I came across. I have shared this before, but for the benefit of the viewers that maybe didn't watch the show or are new viewers, there was a time when I was having a team meeting in a cafe, and one of the waiters there came over, asked what we were doing. We told him it was a TV show, and he was really interested in working with us. He wanted to, send in his CV. I gave him my email. He sent the CV. And a couple of weeks later, and by the way, he was so friendly, he was so nice, really nice guy. I thought, yeah, this guy's nice. Anyway, I went there a couple of weeks later, and he didn't recognize me this time. I was on my own this time, before I had a few people with me. He didn't recognize me, and he was like a completely different person. He was so rude to me. I can't even describe the look that he gave me as well. And what do you think I did with that CV? When I first saw him, I thought, well, I must remember to look through his CV. But when I saw that behavior, when I went home, I just deleted his email straight away. I wasn't even someone that would ever consider, because it's also important to me to work with people that aren't fake. So, you will lose a lot of people's trust if you're not yourself and you don't show who you really are. And by the way, if you're a horrible person, try to change, because that wasn't a good experience. My second point is to be consistent. So if you're up and down all the time, or if you're unpredictable, it can actually make it really difficult for others to trust you. And yes, you may be having a bad day and difficult times do come, but remember, don't take it out on the people around you. It's going to make people kind of afraid, because they won't know what kind of mood you're in. So if you're having a bad day, are you going to take it out on other people? Are you going to be rude to them? Are you going to shout at them? And imagine the next day you're having a good day and all of a sudden you're lovely again. You know, that is a sure way. You know, people might really like you on the good days, but they won't trust you because they don't think, you know, is this the real her, or is this the real him, or are they going to change the next day? So this unpredictability really isn't good for trust. So my next point is to be kind. If you're the type of person that doesn't only think of their own needs but looks out for others' needs too, people will naturally be drawn to you. I know that I tend to trust people more that I see, you know, they're caring, they're really genuinely interested in how I feel, in what I'm going through. It does make me trust that person, because I can see, you know, in a difficult time, for example, that person will be there for you. They're not just going to be sort of thinking about themselves and just thinking about their own life. So just make sure that you do, even though you may be going through your own issues, for example, or you might be going through a lot of things that you need to sort out, but don't let that kind of stop you from noticing the people around you and reaching out to people if they do need help. Now the next point is a big one for me, and that's to be reliable. Actually, there are two things. If you want to annoy me, do these two things. Be late for a meeting, or if I arrange to meet somewhere with you, be late, and also don't do something that you said you were going to do. Those two things really, really annoy me, and I find it difficult to trust someone that isn't reliable. For example, they say they'll be at a certain place at a certain time, or you know, they'll get something done, or so they make a promise in some way. Of course, I know and I understand that, you know, things happen. You can be late. You've faced a delay, or something happens, but you know, the kind of person that doesn't actually explain, or isn't really bothered if they're late, or they're not bothered if they broke a promise. I'm not talking about silly things. Of course, I know day-to-day things happen, but I'm talking about the person that consistently is late, consistently isn't reliable. You know, you can't trust anything in that person's hands, because they're not going to deliver at the end of the day. And this can actually really affect you in so many ways. It can affect you in your relationships, your friendships. It can really affect your work as well, because if you are working with someone and for someone, how will you be even considered for a promotion, for example, if in your day-to-day work you're not reliable? So that's something that I think is really, really important. And my last point for today is to be humble. So don't try to take the credit for everything. Make sure that you acknowledge, for example, your team at work or your family members, and not just about acknowledging other people's contribution to things, but also acknowledging when you have made a mistake, when you need to apologize, when you need to change something about yourself. There's nothing worse than trying to help someone, you know, there's certain behavior or something that they might be doing wrong, and you want to help them, but they just think, no, I'm fine, I don't need to change, I'm fine the way I am, you know, mind your own business. It's nothing worse than that. You don't really connect with people like that. And even, for example, in relationships, if you know, you keep doing that to your partner, eventually they're going to get fed up with it, because it's like you don't acknowledge any mistakes, you never say sorry. That's such a difficult relationship to be in, I would say. So make sure that you are humble and that you do acknowledge mistakes, you do acknowledge other people around you, and that will definitely lead to people trusting you more. Well, everyone, we have reached the end of today's program, but if you have a story that you would like to share, or you'd like to tell us your comments about this program, you can email us on info@chrissybshow.tv. You can also tweet us at Chrissy B Show, or leave a message on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. And if you'd like to know more about me, you can visit my personal website, which is mylifeafterdepression.com. Until next time, bye for now.